Hi, I'm Abigail. I'm a math, biology, and chemistry tutor based in Hong Kong, and I help A-level, IB, and IGCSE students get the grade that they want and ultimately get into the university of their choice. Exams can be stressful and confusing to both parents and students, and schools and teachers are not always clear in communicating what students need to understand or focus on in order to do well in the exams. There's a lot of content and they can get quite complex, and many students don't know where to start or where to even focus on. And parents have told me that they can get quite anxious because they don't even know how to support their own children. My services aim to give structure. Depending on what the student needs, we'll divide our lessons into two types. Either if the student requires to go over content, then this is where we will go over complex, difficult, challenging content and questions and topics and break them down into small, manageable chunks. And this is the time that I encourage my students to ask as many questions as they need in order to understand the concepts to the fullest. On the other hand, if they're preparing for a test or an exam, then this is where we will devise a schedule that is realistic and achievable for that student. We will also go over past paper questions so that they know how they're going to be asked and what they need to write in order to maximize their marks. And this is where I will also guide my students at their own pace, and I don't expect them to actually improve all of this and achieve their target grade overnight. With this structured approach, I've been given feedback that my students generally feel very supported, they stay motivated, and best of all, they get a boost in their confidence in how they approach and revise for their exams. In this approach alone, in 2026, 90% of my students hit their target grade, if not exceeded expectations. Part of my services is also to make sure the parents themselves, you, stay in the loop. How? I make sure I will give regular updates, usually every 3 months or so. And this is where we will touch base. I will tell you what we have gone over during the lessons, what I will suggest the student needs to go over in between sessions, what challenges I see them facing, and how they can improve, and if we need to tweak the lessons moving forward so that the students can progress even further. That way, as parents, you know what's happening without needing to micromanage every single detail. I understand how this feels because I was a student too. And it was only over time that I realized you don't need to be the smartest person in the room in order to do well in IB, IGCSE, or A levels. And I've seen this approach work time and time again. So long as you're willing to put the time and the effort, anyone can do this approach. And I will be in your corner supporting you and your child along the way. If this sounds helpful for you, your family, or someone you know, please follow me on Instagram or YouTube. I'll put a link in the description or somewhere, or message me directly. If you found this video useful, please like or subscribe or follow me on Instagram or YouTube, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!